Rabbi Sai, enjoy, come, plenty of seats. We're all waiting for all the holy Jews to come. Oh, you come in handy. You're a good man to have over here. I forgot about the mic. You see that? We want to thank you, Rabbi Briller. Remind me about the mic. Boy, you say my shalom bias with the guys who helped me. I got to get along with them too to get by in. If I don't behave, you're part of the mic. Mendel, what did you do? You just saved me. He did? Thank you. You guys are good people. Shem should pay you back. It's a big chesed. Kum tarayin, kum tarayin. Bo b'hamay nechem. Bo b'hamay nechem. I'm speaking to the machine too. Come inside, guys. Come wherever you want. Now, where am I up to? I have to remember what I'm up to. What was I talking about? What?
Don't say yourself nothing.
Yeah. You believe in the Eibishter, so what are you worried about? You got the Eibishter. What else did I say after that? Anything else? Who? Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, yes. There's something I wanted to say about him. Anyway, he got a lot of mileage. He started listening to me. He was going to Gehenna. And he's also got thousands. He's like me. He speaks for these things. He's a powerhouse. And he said his life was in the garbage can. Now I want to give a plug for Musa because he said it, I didn't. He told me. He said, Rabbi Mendel, you know what this man does? He gives shiurim and Ebenezer and Cheshimish, big stuff, high quality. Gemara Tishpis, he knows everything. He speaks to big guns, and he's bigger than all of them. For years, he's a powerhouse. Big. He was falling apart until he listened to me. And then he tells me, it's all great, Torah is Torah, Abba. To Musa, that's way above everything. And Musa, Bטחון, how you doing? Come inside. Nothing comes, he said it, I didn't say it. Many of you say, I said, I'm a Novandiga, they messed me up with that Musa. And I'm a little bit off the derech. He said it. I didn't say it. He said, without Musa, nowhere. Well, he's a living proof. Until he got in touch with me, he was crying like a baby. He's a grandfather with all kinds of problems still here. You heard my stuff? His whole life turned around. He's a new person. So you have to have the Eibishter and only the Eibishter. Only the Eibishter. Not even Musa. Musa's great. Musa. Torah is great, Abba, the Eibishter himself. Bטחון b'Hashem, believing in him, having bayteach in him. He knows what he's doing. Sit on that all your life again and again and again. No, not enough. Start all over again, as if you never heard it before. There's an Eibishter, we love you to pieces, Hashem. And you made this beautiful world. And look how good it is, powerful we are, what we're doing now. Approximately 77 years ago exactly, they dropped the atomic bomb over Hiroshima first, and 3 days later Nagasaki, because the Japs weren't smart enough to chop the message. You guys got to watch out what you're doing. They didn't chop. Albert Einstein was a Yidel, Nebuch, an old short fellow whose mind he's a big genius. Him and a couple other Yiddelach who had to leave Germany because the Germans persecuted them. So we'll come to America. You don't like the bomb? We'll get these guys the bomb. That's exactly what happened. They left a note for President Roosevelt. I got a bomb, President. You have any problems? We'll do the job. 1, 2, 3. We'll wipe them out like this. A bomb. Not your kinderspiel, like, child's play stuff. They adopt these tiny bombs, just blow up too few buildings. That's nothing. With 100 people screaming, that's nothing. It's jokes. I got the real thing that the world never saw. It's available for you, Mr. President. He told Franklin Delano Roosevelt, I got some good stuff for you. At the beginning of the war, 1940, I think, 1939. He slipped him a note. Anytime you want me, here I am. President ignored it. You're going to start with bombs. Until Pearl Harbor was attacked. When the Japs got to Pearl Harbor, then President Roosevelt got smart. He said, okay, get that bomb moving. And they moved the bomb. They blew it as a test in New Mexico somewhere in some midbar. You know about it? And they said there was a girl who was blind, who's she was so thunderstruck that she suddenly saw. That was the test, the atomic bomb. The first thing it did was kill 70,000 people. That was like Haschalta. The first, that's just, for starters. 70,000, the whole area looked like a tar pit. Boiling hot tar. That's what happened to Hiroshima. In a second, by the way, all the guys associated with the bomb had charata, a lot of Jews. They had charata, and they wanted to recall it. We don't want this to happen. I think one of the big shots, Einstein, he said, look, I feel terrible about it, but I don't feel that bad, because if we didn't do it, then the Germans would do it. So, that's Sarazai. That the Japs, you wonder why did the Japs get such a... They got the worst Apollo, the Japs, what they got. Nobody got what they got. By the way, Berlin, when America was finished with them, it looked like a parking lot. They did it without the atomic bomb. The American guys flew over Berlin, they turned it into a parking lot. Berlin, the capital, it looked like a parking lot. That's what you do it. And there were a lot of other stuff besides the bomb. 400,000 prisoners, and what the Japs did to the prisoners, worse than the Germans. I'm not going to say anything nice about the Germans. Don't be cheshid me. But they say the Japs, they were arzorin, they were cruel. So you're an arza, here goes. That's what you get. 70,000 for starters that killed. They say nobody even cried. Not the babies didn't cry. They just, what happened to them, I'm not talking about. I will not discuss it. No doctor ever heard of the diseases that popped up from that bomb. The fallout, years. The fallout, the bomb, that was bomb Aleph. Then they asked the Jappies, you ready to go like this and say it's over? No. All right, we'll give you another one. 3 days later, Hiroshima, boom, 40,000 one shot. They got the message. And then, that a river dried up on the bomb. You know that? River dried up. It was burned. It was not in the ice. How did such horrible things happen to mankind? There was such a pachad. What happened in World War II? This is Chevle Mashiach. This is now, I'm going to say something a little bit. I'm very inspired by this. I'll tell you how. I am totally Nida Taiva Maruba. That's me. But I'm always positive, even when I talk negative. Just a stepping stone to say something positive. Look what mankind can do. When, you know where this starts? With anger. Anger. Not happy. I don't like what's going on. That's the beginning. That's the tiny microscopic negativism. Nothing terrible, you're human. But a bomb is already, that's where it ends up. Self-destructiveness. People, Mabadas Baladas, mankind. They were petrified those days. The entire mankind will be annihilated. They were worried. They said it's over. The world is going to be, oh, by the way, since then, there's no problem. When I was a kid, there were between Russia and America. The reason why America was bigger than Russia is because Russia could only blow up the world 25 times. And America could blow up 50 times. So America's a better country. We're the big guys, it's going, blow yourself up. What are you doing here? That's the beginning. That's negativism. The poison of negativism, the poison. Whenever you think you stop being negative, remember, that's the end of that tunnel. That's in the extreme of the same midah. It's a say, of course you're human, don't knock yourself, don't do that. Forget, it's good that you're negative, because you can work on it. And you're going to go with the opposite, even a drop better, a drop less negative. You're a malach. Now listen to this. I have a book here, it's the one who, you want to get me that, right, that gray one, your hands on it, the gray, you got it. Yeah, bring it over. His name is Rav Moshe Mendel. No relation. Rav Moshe Mendel. He was a Malach Hashem Tzvakis. There's a picture of Rebellion Weintraub went running to him. You imagine who he was? Rav Shach, he was there. Rav Osner was masped him. He lived in Bnei Brak, a major Baal Meifis, he was a tzaddik nister. It was unbelievable. Anyway, Rav Mendel, 2 Bachram came over to him. And the Bachram said, we want a bracha for Yerush Shamayim. So Yerush Shamayim, you know what that is? Does anyone have it? Do you know what it is even? He was like, but then he said, any person who asks for Yerush Shamayim, that by the Eibishter, he is a Baal Yerush Shamayim. For asking, that's it. It's done there, we know who you are. You're not one of these destructive types. You're a tzaddik gama, because you asked for it. That's what he said. You know, Elul, you know what happened to me? I had a terrible experience, I'm joking. Last week, I called up by mistake, boom, Chassidish Rebbe, one of the biggest in the world. He's known. One of the biggest Chassidish, now you're talking. He's all right. One of the biggest Chassidish Rebbes in the world. Called him up. We had a great talk together. He's my man. I like him. I don't want to say his name. He lives in Eretz Yisrael. And he's a Kaddish. They say he doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, but he's one of those unusual, not trying. So we had to talk about this, about that. And he says, what about Elul? He almost killed me. He screamed. He's a nice person. Not for us! Stop that! Don't stop it. Elul, well, I got to do tshuva. I got to, not for us. Leave it in chat. Don't you dare do that. Now he quoted the Alter Rebbe, the Baal Tanya. Murray the Gavot. I was mechaben last week, that same vod. Very interesting. So it says in the Gemara that says, Rabbi Loz, I think it was, his cow went with something on his horns. It's called Haitzah, right? He went Haitzah. His cow didn't do nothing, but the Mishnah says he did. Why? Because his neighbor did it, and he wasn't Meicha. For a person like big as you, it's called like you did Chilul Shabbos. So he says, Dr. Balatanya, he made a cheshbon. I think he said, B'Shem the Baal Shem HaKudosh. He said, by us, we're little guys, what's going on? We're okay? We're good, no? By us, good, yeah, very good. By us, where we're so little, even if we do something big, we didn't really do anything. Because it's measured. I said the same exact thought last week. Old Spinner Shemayim, except I used a different measure. I said, Vayishkav Reuben is Bilhah. He never did nothing, but Reuben, it's called. So therefore, we just the other way around. We could do the worst thing, and we didn't do nothing, because we're little guys. But the nusach of the Baal Tanya was, if we just krechts, we just feel a little bad about a bad thing we did, tshuva shalema. By us, little guys, we did a total tshuva. Isn't that a beauty? Now, the same week that I said mine, I heard this, the Rebbe told me this on the phone. I says, that's Ben Hashemayim. That's Hashem is talking. Hashem is telling everybody, yes, I want you to know, that's exactly the way it is. Don't get so nervous with El. Cut it out. You're a tzaddik gomer. I paskin, everybody. You're a tzaddik gomer, tzaddik gomer, tzaddik gomer, tzaddik gomer, tzaddik gomer, tzaddik gomer. Everybody. And I want to ask you, Michiel, I already did an Aveira. You're not a tzaddik gomer. Tzaddik Yisayid Olam, Yisayid Olam, Yisayid Olam, Yisayid Olam, Yisayid Olam. I got to ask Mechila again, because I hold it's still not enough. And I mean it. I really, really, really mean it. I really mean it. People laugh at me. I mean it. Just like I blow myself up like a giant elephant. And I mean it, even though everybody laughs at me. But I mean it. I got to tell you about it. Listen to this. Oh, no. All right, whatever. I mixed up two stories. I had a joke. You want to hear the joke? I'll tell you the joke. It's not going to kill anybody. This lady comes over to the Rebbe. Rebbe. What happened? My son went Meshuggah. What happened? He went Meshuggah. What's going on? He's eating he's eating pigs, and he's dancing with shikses. He went Meshuggah. So the Rebbe says, your son's Meshuggah? Yes! You know what he's doing? He's eating pork chops, and he's dancing with shikses. He's Meshuggah geworden. So the Rebbe says, it's not true. No? If your son would be dancing with pigs, and he'd be eating, if he's dancing with the chazalach, I'm about to dance with the chazalach, and you're guessing the shikses, he'd be eating shikses. That he'd be Meshuggah. Your son's got different problems. It's a good one, no? Is that a good one? That's Gavaldi, anyway. But can I make fun? I don't want to make fun of Rebbes if I'm a Rebbe myself. I shouldn't do it. I'm afraid I don't want to, it shouldn't sound like, okay, anyway. So, now, where are we up to? What was he talking about? Yeah, us. We're all tzaddik, yeah. What did I say after that? Before that, what was it? Yeah, so, tzaddik, that's it. We're doing great, Rabbi Say. And he let me have it. Today, none of this. I got off the phone, and my last VOD, I quoted him, and it's done deal. Hello? Do tshuva. No stress. That's tshuva. Or try not to have stress. And if you're not getting anywhere, so do the following. I thank you, Hashem, that I'm a basket case of nerves. I love it. Say that. I recommend that. Be happy that you're one of those stressed out guys. That's what I say. Anyway. All right. I want to get back to Elul. I got to get back to Elul soon. I heard a story, not shaykh. I'm a little concerned. I got to have more color, new stuff. Viola, I don't know if I'm that good or I'm not that good. When I think I'm boring, all I do is I say, after I finish the VOD, and I felt that the VOD was too boring, they heard too much, they heard that already, heard this already, and I'm boring my elim. So what do? I daven to make it should be a fascinating VOD. I don't know what actually happened. I think half the guys might have been sleeping. But after the VOD is over, I promise you, this is Kach Daki B'Kodesh. You want to know what the Rebbe does? This is the Rebbe. That's me. And guess what happens? All the time, I have 3-4 guys coming over that I don't usually. This VOD was Givaldic. That was my tefillah. If it was actually Givaldic, that doesn't play a role. I daven, it's going to be Givaldic. It was terrible. I daven. If I used to say they should, Lamafreya. You ever hear that? Like Mekana Ball Lamafreya had one of those. It works. I'm telling you, it works. I'm funny. You know what I did? A kid had a stroke, Rahman al-Sana, about 2 months ago already. The parents called me up, it was Erev Shabbat, and they said, no stroke. Half his body wasn't working. I said, no stroke, don't bother me. No stroke, I promise you. They were in the hospital. They said, but he had a stroke. There was the father, the mother, an hour before Shabbos, a stroke. I says, bring a little kid, a 7-year-old kid. I said, bring him on the phone. I said, Bubby, you're fine, no stroke. It's a true story. And he said, really? Yes! The Rebbe says, I know what I'm very tough for that reason. I want to get the guys to, when you sound tough, then this guy looks like he knows what's going on. The less secure I am, the more I scream the other way. The more I sound self-esteem. The more I'm insecure. I'm really like this. And ready to hide in the hole. But I scream, and they say, he looks like he's the real deal. So I promise you. So the kid cheered up, needless to say. He was petrified. A 7-year-old kid, half his body's not functioning. His eyes closed, the whole side is not working. And it just happened this Mason. Anyway, 2 months ago about. So I'm asking, you have no stroke, cut it out. Go home. What are you wasting your time here? You got a little this, shtus him. The kid, really? Yes. And by the way, you sound like a cute kid. I want to eat you up. So the guy burst out laughing, the kid. I told the father, when he laughs, the Vilna Gaon says, Ruach yechalka machalehu. When you have simcha, it cures. The body loves simcha. You know that? It's Yedua. I speak to doctors, everybody knows. Anyway, that's what I did. I said to the father, okay, Tati, take a look at him. How's his eye? Hey, his eye's opening up. And how's everything else? He had a slight tingling on his arm. It was over, I promise you. I promise you it was over right there. Half his body wasn't working. I screamed faket. You see, because my Emuna is pretty strong. And I don't, so it happened, it didn't happen, Toch Kedei Dibur, do you ever learn about Toch Kedei Dibur? Kedibur Domi, you know what that is? You know what that is? Shalom Aleichem, yeah. If you said it a minute later, it's as if, so I work with those rules. Toch Kedei Dibur, Kedibur Domi, like, so it's like, let's work backwards. And I promise you, the kid, I don't believe it myself. That's why I'm saying it over. And by the way, I forbade them to stay in that hospital. They're going to make them sick. And they stayed. They didn't listen to me. But they took my instructions, and you're going to keep talking. They went home after a few days, and the kid, they keep saying, father and mother, he's fine, he's good, he's good, and the kid is perfect. One of the Rebbe's Meifsim. Okay, now you know who it is. Isn't it an honor for you to be here? Such a Baal Moibus like me. L'chaim Tevim L'Shalom. Simchas V'al Yidin Elul is going to be, we're going to do tshuva. Not enough l'chaims. This Elul, do tshuva. More l'chaims, more jokes, and Achronach and Chabav, more ice cream. And everybody should do tshuva. This Elul. Mandel's jokes, Jack Daniels, and Glida, and strawberry ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is also a yaitza. Yaitza with chocolate. We'll allow you to eat that too. We're easygoing. We're not going to confine. That's the Rebbe's recipe. Does anybody listen to me? If these old-time mashgichim are listening to me, I'm in trouble. What are you doing? You're corrupting the world. Mendel, what's going on with? I told you, probably from the 2-3 biggest rabbanim in Lakewood. He's from the big names. He's all over the place. Told me, Mendel, you're brand new. You're like modern. You're a new guy, but you're totally hooked up to the past. It's a big thing. It's not the first time I heard it. I'm into the past. I don't make up new terrorists. But Avodas Hazman is this. I had a guy on the telephone. Sadly, there was some health problems in the family. And there was a guy, Rabbi Mendel, yes, we have to take care of. And I saw the way he was talking. And he said his wife is just like him. I said, uh-oh. I says, he was a great guy. I'm not chas v'sholom. But as I'm talking, there were some medical issues going on. And I says, I don't like your bedikas chametz, I promise you. This is what I told him. You sound too frum. You're on the frum side, aren't you? He says, how'd you know? I see from talking to you, you are frum. And your bedikas chametz I don't like. How long does it take you? Sure enough, you heard this? 8 hours.
Wow.
And he laughed. How did you guess? I says, I could tell a guy like you, your b'dikas chametz is out of whack. I said, when you no wonder your kids are going with sugar. A father does b'dikas chametz for 8 hours. Oy vey. You know, do you smile? By the way, I made a joke afterwards. I made a joke on the phone. And then I says, how would you like my joke? Good. I says, you know, with jokes, you're supposed to laugh. So he burst out laughing. Good. I see you, Mahalach. I see, you got to spend 8 hours learning Bטחון. What's with you? You're channeling your energies in the wrong direction. He said, the guy tells him he's working on it. It's probably his parents' fault or the Zaydas. You can't blame nobody these days. L'chaim! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakel v'dvarim. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Now I want to tell you, I heard a mice. Somebody said, Mendel, you got to have more new stories. That day, someone comes over to me. New stories. Listen to this one. Atomic bomb. I love it. You know who that was? Who heard of him? He was a giant. The Rav of Budapest. Hungarian. There's a picture of him speaking later to Rabban Cutler. We're killing each other. Rabban Cutler respected him and learning. There's a goyin. Rav of Budapest. He was best friend with Rabbi Weissman, Yaakov Hornstein, Nitro Elam, you know that Elam? Very, these holy Jews, Hungarians, Oberländish a little bit, the best, not Shia. Yenison Steif, my father told me mice with him. There was one sitting, and I don't want anybody to have tinnitus on me if I say something right now. Chas v'chalila. No, I'm not going to say it. Got to watch what you're doing these days. The oilam needs to be dealt with, handled with care. Watch what you're doing. These guys are brittle. You don't want to. You're at a chas v'sholom. You know, they're made out of paper. There are two menalim here in Lakewood. One of them said about his talmidim, they're made out of paper, a top moisid. And the other one said, my talmidim are geisisim. They're all like, you know, mila chai, mila mavis. Imagine. Now I'll tell you something. I said, what are we going to do with El? I'm very worried about El. Come inside. There's room. Kibtaran. What are you going to do, Melech? We have to be serious about El. Even though the Rebbe said it, and I'm right, he's right, but still, what are you supposed to do? I had an eitzah. Go around and call all your Rabbeim on the phone, Rosh Yeshivas, anybody that looks like he's got a little more, what should we do at El? That's all. It doesn't even matter what he tells you. You make those 5-10 phone calls, Abishah looks at you different. He cares. And you'll explain, you're not going to get me depressed. You know, you got to be besimcha. Maybe, how do you do tshuva on that? You know, then you're going to stress out, enough simcha. I'm not going to turn into a kal, although Yiftach was called a kal shebekalim. You know that? Or whatever that means. Don't turn into a bum, please, and then blame it on Mendel. Don't do that. But he was called, Yiftach was a shayfet. He was called a kal shebekalim. Shmuel the Rabbi mentioned 4 shayftim. Himself, who was a chomer, he was a gain and a tzaddik, he was shakal to Moshe and Aaron. But Gidai, Shimshon, and Yiftach were called kalim, whatever that means. We don't know chas v'chalila, watch out. And Yiftach was a kal shebekalim. How would you like to have a leader like that? I don't know what it means, but maybe sometimes the door needs a, you know. I always tie it. If Reb Chaim Kanevsky goes around saying buha, what's going on here? Because our door needs a leader that has a sense of humor, and the whole olam has to hear a sense of humor. That's the leader for us. That's for us. Now we know he's for us. We need to be an example. Say, boys, a gadol, you know what it's means? Malach alikim, Reb Chaim Kanevsky, buha. Now this, I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody told me he got it from the Chazon Ish, of all people. That's a good story. Chazon Ish told him about Buha. And he did it, but that he should get it all over the world, like the way he goes out, Buha, 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 Chaim Kanevsky. That's a simon. You're allowed to take it easy. You're allowed to learn Shas too, but it won't kill you. You know, reminds me with Galinsky and Chaim Kanevsky. They used to meet once a year when Chaim Kanevsky used to finish Shas. Once a year he used to finish Shas. And Galinsky used to come there. And Galinsky said, we both give each other a bracha. And my brachas work, and Chaim Kanevsky's brachas don't work. So what's going on? Because we both give each other a bracha that we should finish Shas the next year, finish it again. So my brachas always work. He finishes. His brachas don't work. Oh, you ever hear this one? Galinsky was walking in the street, B'nai Brak, and he was so overjoyed because he overheard the kids were trained, Gedolim pictures, Gedolim cards, So they had a picture of Galinsky. As soon as they got my picture, and he says, I'm overjoyed, I finally made it. I'm one of the Gedolim. It's a good feeling. You know what happened to me as a Rebbe? After teaching about 25 years, the kids started singing for me. The 9-year-old kids started saying, Yamin, Ayame. Oh, man, I felt so good, that I'm already one of those. At least the 9-year-old kids hold them. I was overjoyed till the next day when I heard them singing it, and I was not in the classroom. And I asked someone, who are they singing? Oh, they're singing for the Morah. Yeah, they're singing for the Morah. Yeah, I said, oh, that's so nice. Oh, now I see what madreg I am. Morah is old enough to be my great-granddaughter. Anyway, it's all right. But where am I up to? Galinsky. Oh yeah, he was walking in the street and he overheard two B'nai Brak kids, and they're holding Galinsky cards with them. All the Gedolim pictures, And he says, aha, I'm one of them. I made it. So he said he was overjoyed till he overheard a kid tell the other kid, give me one shach, I'll give you 2 Galinskys. He made it up. I don't believe it's true. But anyway, so let's get back to the story. The story is Naganagais. My father said that my father Zatzal said that he wants the secretary. There's a male secretary. That's the way. It's a preference. Male. I don't want to say more than that. It's Gavaldi. A male's a secretary. Anyway, so he said. So the secretary noticed once Rabbi Yonasan Steib jumped out of his seat and he ran to the wall and he said, Rabbi Yonasan, please, I'll behave, I'll be good. What a person that was. Anyway, he was in Auschwitz and his 12-year-old daughter, she's 101 years old. You want to visit her in Lakewood? She's a Agar Chashav, a woman, not Chaya. His 12-year-old daughter in Auschwitz said, Ta, I can't hold out. I want to jump off a roof. They used to do that. You know that? Oh yes. The barbed wire, they used to jump. They couldn't handle it. You shoot him, Auschwitz. Who could understand what they went through, Nebuch? And they're all going. So they all and people were mamish, and she was going out of her kalim. Ta, I had enough. I want to leave the world. 12-year-old girl in Auschwitz. He said, "Don't you dare talk like that. Start saying now, we're getting out of here, we're going to leave, everything will be fine, everything's great, they will still help us, keep doing it all day long, and in 1 week we're out." He told it to her on Friday. The next Friday they were out. Him, his wife, and his daughter, together with 300 others, suddenly got out. How did that happen? It was impossible when he said it. You know the barbed wire with vicious dogs and that cutthroat Nazis patrolling. You make one wrong move, they're looking for you. Just breathe that maybe you want to. It's Rahman al-Islam. And he said, "We're getting out in a week. Just keep saying that." And it happened. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because Mechaba Weissmandel Zatzal was giving money to the Germans. Give me money, I'll give you. Give me Jews, I'll give you money. Money always talks. Money is a good mahalach. You always go with money. The Jews, Yaakov Avinu with Esav, give money. And he already gave a big chunk of money, and he complained to Mengele, Yamach Shemai, I gave you money, and I didn't see any Jews yet. You got to stop moving something else. I got more money waiting, you're not getting it. I gave you part 1, you're not getting part 2. Okay. 300 people got to leave. That Friday, she was one of the 300. How do you like that story? I had a guy that sat right here in this VAD. He needed to get on Section 8. What is it called? What is it called around here? HUD. Wanted to get on HUD. He has 9 siblings, all in Gilo. He's the youngest. They're all on, couldn't get on. I don't know, maybe today it's different. But those days, nobody got on. And he comes to me, Mendel, what should I do? I says, you're getting on. You know how to do these things. He spent 2 weeks. I'm getting on, there's no question. His wife thought he was out of his mind. At the end of the 2 weeks, he was on. He keeps saying, I'm on, I'm making it, I'm having it. How do you like that story? Then I have another one. I wasn't the guy. He used to sit over there. He had a kid who the doctor said, this baby will never go Ktanim in his life. You know the story already, no? You heard it, no? Here we go, Chazorah. Got a Chazah. So he spent a month. No, the baby's normal. All day long, baby's normal. And the doctor says it's impossible. He's never going to go Ktanim. We see it already. As soon as the baby was born, the first thing he did was go Ktanim in the doctor's face. That was Shalom Aleichem, I'm here. Remember the guy you were talking about who can't go Ktanim? Here I am. Okay, now we got to start with this. Where am I starting? Over here? I work on Bטחון, see zero change or difference in my life. Am I doing something wrong with the way I'm learning? If it's not having it, we did that, no? What? We did this stuff. Someone doesn't have much Bטחון. Should he just jump into the ocean and do things as if he has high madregas in Bטחון? Or that's denial and silly, or fall flat on his face when it falls? Not bad. That's a nice kasha. Everybody's different. I was told by Abdon Segel to jump, not in the ocean. But he said, even though you're not holding there, give a jump. And I did it and it worked. So there is such an entity. I think he brought a Mishnah Berurah, I don't remember, as a rider. Just take a jump, go a little higher than you're holding. It's fine, but double check, you need a Rebbe. I was brought up that the best zikaram is a person's own learning and nothing else. Is that wrong? Now look, you hit a sore point. I say it's dead wrong. What? Mendel, what are you doing? Now I'm going to get into trouble. I'm telling you, it's dead wrong. Are you going to, wait a minute, if Ramatas Yo, Zang Zunshtak said, open your Gemara and learn for Klal Yisrael. You do that? I don't know how bad it is. You really thinking of Klal Yisrael all the time when you're learning? Now, Rabbi Shol Salanta was the one who said, if you're learning in Kovna, the people in Paris are getting better. If you're caring for those Jews, and by the way, on Tishpab, did you cry for those millions of Jews that don't have a Shabbos and Yom Tov? Worse than 10 Holocausts. Not ever keeping Shabbos in your life, you got serious issues. It's a pachad going on out there. And I learned that it's going to be all right. I don't hear it. I'm not good with that unless you're involved. How about once a week, say tell them for half an hour for them? That's different. Then I relate to it. I hear you. You're involved like this. I think it's kechucha v'talula. I think it's a joke. You learn, it helps the world go by. I don't hear it unless you really care and you worry about them and talk about them. That's something else. Ideally, go out there. Rabban Kod L'Shita is go out. I'm in Malikud, I'm allowed to say that. Anyone says different? Kol Mashana, Yodei ala Tachtoina. And I was also Mashana. I never left Lakewood, even though they begged me, Mendel, you got to go out, it's good for you. I want to be like everyone else, molasses. I'm molasses. I'm staying right here, yeah, it's nice. And Reb Nosson, and the Jacobs, Reb Shnei, got to go out. Reb Baron, after 5 years, Reb Baron would not let you stay here. You can learn, not here. Shlomo Per's father, Laser Pir, was told, Reb Baron, Not here. Another friend of mine's father did not go to Lakewood because he knew Rabban's going to send them out. All right? You want to know the sheet? That's Lakewood. I'm not telling you Novandig for sure is like that. Don't, at least have a sheet. Now, Rosh Hashanah is the author of the statement of, you learn here, you're helping there. He personally went to Paris. What was that all about? You know what a trip to Paris for a Zuckin? He went to be Makar in Paris. No. Why did he do it? So Salata, Rabbi used to shake when he said his name. He is the king of everything. Have a seat. He is the whole yeshiva world is his kayach. That's what he did. Okay, next. Anyway, now, don't we see people that bench with kavanah? Oh, we did that. What should a person think when he sees severe inflation? We did that. Is it the right thing to give every collected tzedakah? Did that.
How do you attend Yiras Shamayim?
Who?
How do you attend Yiras Shamayim?
Yiras Shamayim? You got it. You asked that question? You have it. You want to see the book? He said, if someone who asked that question, in the Abish's eyes, that you got it. You know that I spoke to probably the biggest Rav in Gans Lakewood about that. He says, nobody knows anything about Yiras Shamayim. He told this to me. All right, listen. The people that want it and look for it and learn Musa, okay. The official answer is learn Musa. Learn Musa, that's you got, I don't care what you're going to do. You're learning Musa, you're there. You're asking these kind of questions, you're there. That's it. Now, okay, now I want to repeat this one. Is it the right thing to give every collected tzedakah during davening that serves your kavanah? What's the right approach? I just want to tell you something interesting. I mentioned it last week. Reb Gershon Liebman never gave tzedakah because he held it was covered. See, I'm a good guy. Reb Nosson always gave, and he never gave. What did he do? I once watched a kid collecting, and Reb Gershon looked at him like, oh, you're so cute. And he gave him a pinch, and goodbye, and gave him a penny, as if to say, I'm not a nice guy. Now that's Reb Gershon. But one thing, don't get so intimidated if you don't have money. They make you feel guilty. It's a mitzvah rabbah to give. What's the question? But if you don't have it, don't. Or if you're in the middle of davening and guys making you crazy, so you don't have to. So you'll be all right. I told you, I'll repeat it. Rabbi Miller, Zatzal, went to Tarvadas. Tarvadas is where all the Williamsburg Yidden, the Satmar guy, they daven. It used to be a yeshiva Tarvadas. So that downstairs, it's like Tel Shimshon. Everyone davens there. Hundreds of people. And all the guys who roll in, who wake up 12 o'clock, they go to Tarvadas. They start davening 1 o'clock, maybe, Shachris. I'm joking. But it's not such a joke. It's great. That's where everybody goes. Not that bad, but shit. Now, Rabbi Miller said, you go into Tarvadas, this is what happens. Half the guys are collecting. Half the guys in the place are collecting. You know what that means? There's, let's say, 100 guys there, 50 collectors. What? Take a look. He's boom, 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 boom. And then, after they finish collecting, then it looks like, Rabbi Miller said, it looks like these guys finished davening, and the guys are collected. Now they're davening, and the guys who were davening till now they go collecting. Now we go. That's what it looks like. So they collect tzedakah, gavaldi. Anyway, but if it bothers you, so don't give anything. Don't get stressed, no matter what you do. It's always going to make you feel, I did the wrong thing. No matter what you did, that was the way to go. I hold, give. If you gave, then say, I hold, give. If you gave. If you didn't give, I hold, don't give. Whatever you do, metashtaltz, what you did, it's Elo b'elo, I'll give you a case proving, but whatever you do that with everything, by the way. I am very stolz about. I had a terrible day today. I learned about 5% as much as usual. And at the end of the day, I took my cheshbon nefesh and I said, this was the best day I ever had. I don't hope from learning so much. That's what I do. A day that I learn a lot, I said, this is a great day. I hold learning is everything. Whatever I do, it's like hatchila. Nobody ever. You hear that? Whatever you do, I am lechatchila. It's Yetzer Hara. You know what the Yetzer Hara tells you to do? When you learned, you said, well, you're learning. You should be doing, it wasn't even good. You said, no good. And when you didn't learn, you're battling. The Yetzer Hara tells you whatever you do is no good. So you got to go the opposite. I used to have this problem, how to shout if I should go to a chasana or not. Learning chasana is this one. Do you have to go to this? This always happened to me. Whenever I went to the chasana, I said, waste of time, you should have learned. And the day that I learned, I missed the chasana. What a terrible thing. I used to go through that. Now, I'm telling you, be stolz. The main thing is, be stolz. I don't care what you did. Whatever you did, I hold that's the right derech. I don't care what these other guys do. I have the right derech. They think this, they think that. They're all crazy. I am the best guy right here. Well, maybe last year I was a bigger tzaddik than this year. No! I hold this year. I have the right derech. I am learning half as much, or learning too much. Something's wrong. No! I hold this is perfect. I am all stressed. Good to be stressed. I get messed up. My wife got angry. Good. Wife gets angry. You suit him. Now, it's beautiful. Always hold. Chafetz Chaim says, wherever I am, that's the best thing in the world. Yeah, I'm telling you, this vot, it was kedai to be born to hear this vot from the Holy Rebbe. You know what that is? Yeah. You know who I am? Have you seen signs all over Lakewood, Tzaddik Bali ear? Anybody see that? That's me. I'm joking. And I still have I don't get along with the guys who put up the sign because they left out Agoyin, Tzaddik, HaKodesh. They left out Kodesh V'Noira. I have to go through so much Nebuch. It's hard. The Olam is not mocking me. They did right last time, Tzaddik Kodesh V'Noira, but they still don't have enough. I'm disappointed, but what can you do? Okay.